start recording this time.
Yay.
Yay. And I'm going to share my screen. Everyone can see that now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Great. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to class 2. And I've just been so looking forward to seeing you all. And I know that you've all had a real solid week of exploring the Major Arcana 0 through 10, as well as just pulling daily. And Miriam, before the class started, she was saying she can already feel her intuitive knowing getting stronger and stronger, and that just makes me feel so happy to hear that this tool is it's like a going to the gym for your intuition. And my gosh, when we strengthen our intuitive knowing, everything changes in our life. Like I said last class, we make decisions more confidently. We can trust external experts, but not lose ourselves in that. And we can follow the hunches and the information coming to us on a day-to-day basis and take action. So I just wanted to tell you a really, really interesting story. Yesterday, I was co-leading, actually, with Kim, who's on the class, a retreat, and it was with a small team. And we were ready for the day, and we felt so great and not a worry in the world. And I pulled my cards for the morning, and the first card that came up was 8 of Swords, Interference, which is a challenge card. It's the over-analyzing, self-doubting mind. It's the mind that ping-pongs back and forth and doesn't quite know where to land. It's almost like when you're tuning the radio and you're in between stations and it keeps bopping between the country music station and the rock and roll station. And my kids think that's hilarious, but I think it's annoying. So I pulled that card. I said, okay, that's interesting. And then the second card I pulled was the 5 of Swords, Defeat. And I thought, I do not understand these cards today. I feel amazing. I don't have a worry in the world. I'm not stuck. I'm not feeling blocked. And I tried to make meaning, but I really did, but within a minute or two, release the pressure on myself to try and figure these cards out because they made no sense. And you may have all felt this since you've gotten your deck and you've been pulling cards this last week or for the last couple of weeks. Sometimes you pull a card and you're just like, don't get it. Well, the day went completely differently than we expected. It was incredibly intense, very full of emotion and conflict, extremely fearful at times. And at the end of the day, I just looked at those cards and I finally understood, oh, that's what those cards were about. It was so wild. So it's just another example of the cards show you what you already know at a soul level, but sometimes your analytical mind hasn't caught up to it yet. And when you place your cards on your altar or somewhere you can see throughout the day, and then you reflect back on your cards, they make a lot more sense. So we have a lot to do, but I would love if anyone, just one person can share, has that happened to anyone this last week where you pull a card in the morning and you honestly don't understand it, then by the end of the day you do? Has that happened to anyone?
Yeah, it happened to me.
Tell me, what was the situation?
Well, yesterday I pulled the completion card and I didn't get it and it didn't make any sense. And then, lo and behold, as the day unfolded, I've been having all sorts of trouble with my cell phone service. It got suspended because of fraud activity or suspected fraud, and they didn't know when it would be back, 3 to 5 days. It had only been 1 day, and then boom, it was restored. So that cycle was completed that I didn't, and I didn't expect it. So I thought, there you go. It's the wisdom of the cards.
Isn't that so? I just think that's so fun. And it's such a beautiful cycle to be in when you don't understand something, to let it sit and percolate. And then by the end of the day, literally, you can see the connection. You can see what it was showing you.
Yeah.
All right. So just keep that in mind as you guys continue to do your day-to-day ritual with your cards. When you get them, it's a beautiful feeling. When you don't get them, don't worry about it. Trust that they will reveal themselves to you one way or another. So everybody, we have an exciting class today. We are going to be, let's see here, going through more in-depth 0 through 10. And like I said, the Major Arcana are big ass cards. They are karmic cycles. They are not just an opportunity or a challenge that you're moving through like in a day or so. It's something that's bigger in your life, that's coming and sweeping you up and kind of bringing you into a new cycle of life. So they have big, big energy and big, big meaning. And we're going to be going in depth 0 through 10 today. We're going to also talk about how these cards tell a story. Like I said in last class, these cards, all 78, are actually a book. They're a book of life. If they could be in a bounded book, but they're individual cards. And so 0 through 10 tell a story, and we're going to learn what that is. And then, of course, we're going to get juicy card pulling time with a new 3-card spread that I use every day. It's one of my favorites, and you're all going to get a chance to pull 3 cards, let your intuition let you know what you think of it first, your first hunch. Read the back of the book, small description, and then I'm going to have 3 people that didn't speak last class bring forth their cards so I can show you guys what it's like to help people interpret their cards, and also whoever is sharing their cards gets a little bit of extra dose meaning making with it. So let's just talk about the themes 0 through 10. I feel like we start with the Fool, right? We start with the Fool. He is the biggest risk taker in the deck. He is the one who has childlike curiosity and takes leaps and is fully whole. And it's like the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell, the beginning of the hero's journey always starts with the initiation, the saying yes, and that's the Fool. So when we all go through a life's journey or a hero's journey, saying yes, we go through a whole lot of cycles, and 0 through 10 illuminate a lot of the cycles that we go through. The first thing you have to do on the hero's journey is you have to start listening to yourself and trusting your inner wisdom and seeing the support and magic all around you. That's Magician, High Priestess, Empress. We then move into leadership and learning and teaching. As we're on our hero's journey, we're learning so much. That's Emperor, Hierophant. We then need to move into, we need to make choices as we learn and learn more on the hero's journey. What do we want to say yes to? What do we want to say no to? What kind of people do we want to have in our lives? What kind of people do we no longer want in our lives? That's the Lovers. Then we move into like determination and organization, Chariot energy, and balance, adjustment, number 8. We have to we have to get determined and focused, and also look at where we're out of order and chaos, bring it into center. And then we finish up with Hermit and Wheel of Fortune. Deep, deep introspective work is the Hermit. And then we kind of raise our heads out and we see what is in front of us. Wheel of Fortune. What Jupiterian possibility can we bring into our lives? And what do we need to let go of in order not to block it? So that's kind of the journey of 0 through 10, but we're going to go more in depth into each one. So let's start with the Fool. The Fool, I like to narrow it down when I'm learning the cards. I like to narrow it down just to energy or to single words. So the Fool is, I just think, new possibilities. The Leap Taker, no fear, courage. Stay open and surrender to the path. He's the risk taker. When this card comes up, you guys, it is like a big fat thumbs up to say yes to a new risk, a new leap. If you feel fear, what is it? What are you ready in life to say yes to? Where you want to take a risk? Where do you want to break free? And so I've included in these cards just a question or two of what I like to ask when these cards come up. Because if you're working with yourself or working with someone else, it's not only the meaning of the card that's important, it's then how you unfold it with lots of open-ended questions. So with the Fool, where in your life are you ready to break free, take a risk? What's holding you back? Do you feel like you're a risk taker in life? What do you want to say yes to? If you were a child, what would you think of this opportunity? Lots and lots of questions. My kids want to kill me because all I do is ask them questions every day, but I love questions. They get people opened up and thinking differently, and the card is, it's the vehicle to get people and yourself much more spacious. So when you guys see Fool, 0, it's all about risk and leap and possibility. Okay? Then we move on to Magician. The Magician. There's so many meanings of the Magician. And again, the Major Arcana are going to have a lot more depth to them. You can see in your book, there's 3, 4, sometimes 5 pages of description with the Major Arcana as opposed to the suit cards, which is just a 1-page definition. So there's a lot, and I'm learning every day more and more and more about these cards. But the Magician is all about new beginnings. You guys, whenever you see a 1 in the deck or an ace in the deck, it signifies a new start, a new beginning. And so Magician is its new beginnings. Just like Magician, there's magic and support all around you. But you have to be willing to be open to see it. How many times in a day when you're pissed off or resentful or you're just in a bad mood, you're so shut down, you're so blocked, you don't even see the love, the things that are working, all that around you. The Magician is assigned to wake up, stay open so that you can, I'm just going to turn my phone off here, be open to the magic and support that's all around you. Magician, it's Mercury. There's a Mercury astrological symbol involved with this card. High communication right now. You are super gifted. When the Magician comes up, it's telling you, is there something you want to speak? Is there a speech you want to give or a communication you want to deliver? Is there something you want to write? Are you a writer? You're just really, really gifted. When the Magician comes up, it shows you're really gifted, and it's time to communicate your buns off. Like, get it out there. And when we communicate from an authentic place, which is Magician, we make magic. That is the deal with the Magician. When we communicate from an authentic place, we make magic with ourselves and everyone around us. It's time to make your dream a reality. It's just that. So when the Magician comes up, oftentimes I will ask myself or others, who are you when you're most authentic and true to yourself? How do you love to communicate? What do you want to communicate right now? I also ask, what do you think, what support is right around you that you are not seeing, or either you're seeing but you're not taking advantage of? What tools and support are all around you? So that is the Magician. And again, I really like having 1 or 2 words to just highlight the card. And in the Google Docs link that I sent you all, I have 1-pagers on each card that really synthesize the meaning of each card, along with tons of questions to ask yourself and others when that card comes up. So you can go into Google Docs and you can print them off as we go through the class, and maybe make a little binder or something that you can have. Okay, Magician. And if anyone has just a burning question to ask, please let me know. If not, we'll just keep on going here. All right. So High Priestess. Let's just even look at this High Priestess, the image. She's all wavy on the top, super receptive. It's like she's tuned in, right? And then she has these stone pillar legs, like she's anchored to the earth. So she's highly receptive, but she's bringing that unbelievable information into form, into reality. The High Priestess is the highest intuition card in the deck. You see High Priestess, intuition, plain and simple. It's the biggest one. So what does intuition mean? When you see the intuition, it means that you have a very high capacity right now to trust yourself and your inner voice. Your intuition is extremely strong. You're totally self-resourceful and self-independent. And it's a sign for you to really think about, gosh, what have I been hearing intuitively? And am I ignoring it, or am I taking it in? Because right now, if this card ever comes up for you or someone else, it's an indication that your intuition's high, and it's very, very, very important that you listen to it. Do not brush it off. So what is your intuitive voice saying to you right now? Great question. How can you deepen your inner voice even more? What is your relationship to your intuition? If you get a hit, my intuition's been saying, I should look for a new job. I'm just making this up. Then you can ask 1,000 more questions. Well, what kind of job would you like? Why do you think your intuition is saying that? When do you hear your intuition the most? What blocks you from your intuition? I mean, you can go on and on just around what benefits you get from your intuitive knowing, what holds you back from your intuitive knowing, and what is it telling you right now? What actions do you want to take to bring your intuitive knowing into form? Love the High Priestess. And as you can see, guys, there's tons of symbols on these cards. There's the camel, there's the diamonds, there's the fruit. And I'm not going to go into each and every one of those symbols right now because we don't have time. And it's not super important. You memorize all those symbols, but I love when I read in my book, I'm reminded of how much beautiful symbology and meaning are in each of these cards. Lady Frida Harris painted these cards, and I just think she just did such a gorgeous job of bringing them to life. So, inner knowing High Priestess.
Sorry.
That's okay. Just put yourself on mute, Kim, if you want.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So moving on, the Empress, number 3. The Empress is kind of what takes intuition and brings it to earth. Whenever I think of the Empress, I think of female leadership, because the next card in the deck is Emperor, male leadership. We all have masculine and feminine in us. Whether you're a woman or a man, there's a mix. Sometimes one is over highlighted than the other, but the Empress is really telling you to embrace your femininity, your receptivity, your ability to lead with wisdom and love, your ability to lead with empathy, kind of feminine characteristics of just being highly tuned in and intuitive. She is the Earth Mama, you guys. She is a powerhouse. She does not mess around, but she does it with love in her heart. But she makes movement. She takes everything she's received from the High Priestess and she brings it into form. This is about bringing your full potential into the world. You're ripe with possibility to bring in something new. It is about creativity and art and nature and beauty. So I always ask, God, oh my God, the Empress has come up for you. You are ready to lead from a feminine strength. What are you ready to create? How can you bring feminine leadership into the world? Where do you want to bring empathy and love to other people? How can you lead with kindness? Who in your world is not leading with kindness? How can you work with them? But it's a real call. When this card comes up to me, it's like, time to lead, Johanna. Time to take it on. Time to embrace your potential and your skills. So number 3, and time to take your intuition to the next level. You see how they build on each other? I just love the way they tell a story.
Joanna?
Yes.
It's really interesting to me now as you're going through this that at the start of a cycle, you start with intuition. I mean, that's actually kind of a statement for how to go about life, right? You don't start from the masculine, from the action, from the logic, from the reason. You start from your intuition. That's a lesson in itself, really.
Thank you, Renee. I love it. I love that you just added that in. It's so true. It starts so much from that internal little whisper that you receive one day. I feel like I'm always amazed. Every single thing we see in the world started from a whisper, an intuitive hunch. And I think of Amazon or these huge companies. They all began with just an idea. And then it's up to us to take it into form. And Empress is a big push in that direction. So thank you. All right. From Empress, we now go to Emperor. We can never have the feminine without the beautiful balance of the masculine. Ooh, Emperor. Do you guys see how his legs are crossed in the number 4? 4 is a symbol of stability. A chair with 4 legs is stable. When you're missing a leg, it's wobbly. Stability. This is the masculine leadership that we all also have inside of us. It's a more animus. It's a more external leadership. It's logical. It's stable. It's delegation. It's having a plan. It's an ability to like map out for people what the vision is and how to make it happen. And when this comes up for you, it's like a big old sign like, oh my God, I am the leader in my own life. How can I take action to create any lifestyle I want? It's Aries, it's fire. Where do I want to be adventurous and pioneering? What do I want to say no to? The shoulds. Emperor has no interest in shoulds. He is clear with what he needs to do and how he needs to make it happen. Huge leadership card, but different than the Empress. Look how different they look, you know? Just going back, Empress, Emperor, completely different colors, different energy, different vibe. So the questions I ask myself and others when this card comes up is, ooh, baby, you are ready to take leadership in your own life. What do you want to create? What do you want to commit to? Who do you need to delegate to? A good leader is nothing without proper delegation and a team. You know, what kind of lifestyle do you want to create right now? How can you own your vision? What is your vision? So powerful card, very stable. Where are you rational and logical? Let's get rid of kind of the emotional right now. Where's your rational and emotional and logical forces coming in? So Emperor, so powerful. And please speak up if anyone has an insight like Renee or a question. Just speak up.
Okay, it's Renee again.
Oh, hi, Renee.
So when I hold these cards next to each other,
Yeah.
they're looking at each other. It's interesting. You know, one is looking to his right and the other is looking to her left. So I think that's kind of interesting too, that they complement each other.
Ever noticed that?
Huh.
Isn't that, I don't know if you guys can all do that. Put the Empress and the Emperor next to each other. Isn't that beautiful? It's like they completely balance each other out with their colors, their energy, the symbols in them. They're looking towards each other. They're partnered.
Hey, Johanna, the other thing that's interesting is the Emperor is looking over his right, which is one side.
Oh, you're going in and out, Renee.
Johanna, it's Heidi.
Oh, Heidi, so sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just kind of on that same note. The Emperor's looking over his right shoulder,
Yes.
which is the masculine side
Yeah.
of our bodies, and the Empress, the left. So.
And left is intuition, right? And right is the right brain, the logical.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, you guys are brilliant. I knew that I was going to learn as much as you guys when I taught this class, and this is something that I'm forever changed by. Like, I've never put them next to each other and kind of noticed that. So that's so awesome.
And on that note, the Empress is like blue, like water, and the Emperor is fire.
Yeah.
Totally emotional, and then like fire, that masculine.
Leadership, masculine leadership, yeah.
And you can imagine if these were actually in a book, it would look perfect together, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. So good. Okay, so we move on to Hierophant. Such a weird word, huh? I've never heard of this word before, Hierophant. The Hierophant, teacher. So there's many meanings with this card. Look at him. He in classic kind of Rider-Waite cards, he's the Pope. He's the intermediary that brings the spirit world to the earth. Priest, you know, Pope, people that were able to translate for the masses, the spirit world.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is also, he's the number 5. And I just want to let you guys know the number 5 in the Tarot symbolizes always the family. The number 5 is the family. So when you see the number 5 in the suit cards, it's usually issues or opportunities tied with learnings from the past or family. So learning and teaching, the Hierophant. I think our lives, the journey of our lives, are what we end up teaching. The challenges, the opportunities, the shadow sides is what we end up bringing to other people. I mean, my teacher, Angeles, who wrote our book, she always says, bow down to your parents for all the ways they messed you up because they created a spiritual path for you that you're now living if you choose to do so. And so I feel like the Hierophant, when he comes up, it's a huge sign that either it is super time for you to learn in a new way. It's time to take a class. It's time to delve into your studies. It's time to read those books that you've been thinking about. It's time to get really into new learning. Or it might be a time to take the wisdom that's been generated inside of you and start teaching. But I feel that if you're not learning, you can't be teaching. It's a generative cycle. The more you learn, the more you share. The more you learn, the more you share. This is also a huge card with looking at family issues. Where is it time to resolve old family patterns and issues that are no longer serving you? Angels would say that you're standing here and all your ancestors are in back of you saying, maybe she will be the one to break the pattern. Maybe she will be the one to break the pattern. So Hierophant, if you were to take away 3 main things: time to learn, time to teach, and time to resolve family issues. But those family issues have brought you to where you're at, and it's probably what you're learning and teaching right now. So, where are you ready to learn? Oh, if you guys want to put yourselves on mute, that would be great.
I don't know how to do that. Sorry.
That's great. What are you ready to learn and teach? What are you ready to share? What classes do you want to take? And what's going on in your family? How can you resolve that? And what are actions you can take right now to do that? So Hierophant. And again, so much symbology on this card that I can't get into right now. If you go back and read, the card comes up, take your time through Angela's definition with all the symbols. This one is laden with lots and lots of symbols. So any insights or questions when you notice the Hierophant? Anything that comes up for you guys? Okay. All right, so now we move on to Lovers. It's almost like we're rounding the corner here. If you look at the Lovers, you're going to see there's pairs of everything. There's raggedy, there's two like angels, there's a sphinx and there's two animals, there's a king and a queen, there's a man and a woman, there's Cupid. But this card is two things. One, in like traditional tarot, the Lovers card symbolizes you're ready to bring love into your life. You know, that could be, if that's what you're in a stage of life for, it could be a very affirmative side that there's love coming into your life. But really the deeper meaning of this card is very much around relationships and choices. So when it comes to relationships, who are the people that you want in your life and who are you no longer wanting in your life? You're very, very tuned in to work with people one-on-one or in large groups. But then there's this too. Two things might be coming together to create a greater whole, or you will soon find yourself making a decision and choices based, when you've been going back and forth between two things. So it's ideas and ideals and identities combining to create a healing union. So love, relationships, and choice making. So when I think about this, it's what relationships do you want to strengthen and what ones do you want to release? Is there a struggle to decide? Do you feel like you're at a crossroads right now? What path do you want to take? It's like the two paths are right in front of you. And so there's lots of questions you can ask your intuition. Oh my gosh, it really is time to choose, or it really is time to look at the people in my life. And you can go deep with that. And you can go deep with asking others questions as well. So this is one that there's a couple cards in the deck that still stump me sometimes. And I would say the Lovers is one that I always, when I comes up with a client or with myself, I usually whip out my book and I reread it because it's the longest definition. It's like 6 pages in the book. It's a lot. But very, very powerful and definitely worth taking in. So Lovers. All right, any questions or insights with that card that you guys want to bring up? Okay. Great. I know this is a lot of information, but I'm trying, just if you can just write down the words, if you can just even know Lovers, lovers, love, lovers, relationships, lovers, two, lots of twos on the card, choices. You're already reading the cards. Okay, so we move on to the number 7, the Chariot. This guy is ready to go. This knight is all armored up. He has his animals. They're like steam are coming out of their noses. They're ready to pull his chariot in any direction he wants, as long as he makes the right decision and tells them when to go. They're ready to go. He's holding in his hand the Wheel of Fortune, which is the number 10 card. And the Wheel of Fortune is all around possibilities and new directions. But he's sitting there with it in his hands and he's looking down on it. And he's in quietude and he's thinking and reflecting. Before I tell my animals which direction to go, I need to think very clearly about what I really want to do right now in my life. The Chariot is change, lots of change, especially in your career. It might feel painful at the time, or the road might feel a little rocky or bumpy. But when you get through this change, you're going to look back and go, man, that was for the highest good of my life. So it's big change that touches your life on all 4 levels of consciousness. It's setting your own path for the next chapter in life, choosing a new direction, that Wheel of Fortune, and it's control and willpower and victory and assertion and determination. Stay focused on your goal. This dude means business. And so when this card comes up, it's an indication like, oh my God, it's time to get clear on what I want, and when I go for it, I'm going to go for it. And it's going to be big change, and it's going to be very prosperous for me. It's not going to be super easy, but it's time. So what goals do you want to set for yourself right now? What obstacles are you ready to overcome? If you let yourself daydream, what is the new direction that comes to you? It's pretty fierce, you guys. It's a really, really fierce card. The number 7. Any questions or insights when you see this card?
Johanna?
Yeah.
Hi. On the images of the animals, all the heads are on different bodies.
Yeah.
Is that the change part that you think that represents, or like the chicken's head is on something else, like the dog or the person?
That's such an interesting point. And I'm not quite sure. Angelus goes into like the kind of a little bit more details around the animals.
Yeah.
She says here, the 4 animals, they represent the 4 elements or the elemental aspects of who we are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Just trying to see here if she says a little bit more about the animals, but we can revisit. The 4 animals in front of the chariot are symbolic representations of the essential ingredients that are necessary for implementing the kinds of changes that are important personally and professionally. Taurus, bull's head and feet, is important to see tangible results. Leo, the lion's head and feet, all change requires that we access qualities of our creativity. The mutation of combining the bull's head with the lion's feet and the lion's head with the bull's feet illustrates that creativity that always wants to come into form. So there is, Heather, a lot to that kind of mixing the head and the feet. It's like showing different elements of who we are in all 4 levels of consciousness. It's talking about creativity. So whenever we're moving in new directions, we need to be out of like status quo. We need to be using all of ourselves and all of our potential and all of our creativity to move forward. Good. Anybody else with a chariot? It's a big card. Okay. All right. Chariot is all about change and movement and a lot of like turmoil and obstacles, but getting through it. Then we arrive to the adjustment card, the number 8. And the number 8 in the tarot is always, it's like an infinity symbol. It's actually what my ring looks like. I'll show it to you guys. I have this ring. It's the infinity symbol. It's lapis, but I love it. My lifetime symbol, and we'll get into those later. I don't know if you guys have done the lifetime or growth symbols, but in the back of your book, you can, Angela shows you how to calculate your lifetime symbol, which is really amazing to know, and then how to calculate your growth symbol for the year. And we'll talk about that a little later, but the 8 is all about balance and harmony. And when this card comes up, it's a sign that anything that's been out of order or in chaos, you can expect to start seeing it come together and get more simplified and more orderly. And you see she's holding the scales. This is Libra. She's balanced. She has this diamond. She's in a diamond, which is Zen-like consciousness. When you are centered, we all know this. When we are centered, we can see things and feel things that are so clear. When we are in chaos, forget about it. It's impossible to really, really land anywhere stable. So this card is all about, clarity and simplicity are coming back into your life. How can you bring chaos back into order? Speak your truth. It's also kind of time to write. It's the big writing card in the deck. This is my lifetime symbol. So I'm supposedly supposed to write a book. I don't know what that's going to be yet. Stay tuned, but writing is really good. Get your legal stuff in order. Get your finances in order. It's like time to get your desk cleared off. And so I oftentimes ask, have just your life been feeling chaotic? Is it starting to feel like it's coming back into order? What can you do to simplify at this time in your life? A lot of people are decluttering when this card comes up. They're cleaning out their garage. They're cleaning out their clothes. They're cleaning out their files. It is all about simplicity. Get out into nature as well. So adjustment card, if you just even look at it, scales, you'll think balance. Balance, harmony, simplicity. Whatever was out of order is coming back into order. And you guys, the card will tell you the meaning. As you get more and more familiar with these cards, you can just look at it and you go, oh, that's right, scales, balance, coming into order. It'll just trickle all the words that come with it so that you'll be able to get a hit off of it right away. So that is the balance card. Any questions? Okay, great. Once things come into order, now we're allowed to be hermit. Now we're allowed to get quiet, to meditate, to go inward. See this guy, he has a lantern. He's the lantern bearer. Right in the center, he has that beautiful bright light. In order to bring our bright light into the world, we must go inward. We must create times of solitude and quietude to listen deeply to what our inner voice says so we can bring it out. When the hermit card comes up, guess what, guys? It is time to take it slow. If you have a packed day, I would get rid of some of the things that you have scheduled. I would brew some tea. I would meditate. I would go inward. I would journal. I would listen to what that inner light wants to say to you. Oftentimes when you get a hit of what that is, you can help show the lantern light for other people. It's a big slow down card. I get this a lot and I just always chuckle and go, thank you, universe. I think I knew that intuitively, but my ego mind was overriding it. I will listen today, right? So hermit, pretty easy, right? A hermit, you think going inward, going into a cave. That's exactly what this card is. Any questions, any comments about this card? Okay, great. And then we move to the beautiful Wheel of Fortune. Just seeing this card makes me happy because, you know, fortune, it's the number 10. The number 10 in the deck always symbolizes completion. Something old is, you know, ending and something new is beginning. It's like the ending of a cycle. And the whole thing with Wheel of Fortune is I will tell myself or anyone I'm working with, oh my God, stand by. This is Jupiter. This is the luck and opportunity and abundance. You can turn your life in more positive directions. It is literally like a buffet of possibility all in front of you for your taking. If you will resist the temptation to adhere to old fears, old fixed patterns, old ways of being that keep you small and stuck. And so I love this card because if you don't have a big kind of reward in front of you to break old patterns, it's kind of hard. But if you know a buffet of opportunities in front of you, if you just will unstick yourself from really old patterns that bind and keep you, you know, small, damn, I'm going to do it. And so there's the Sphinx, there's the crocodile, and there's the monkey. There's, can you stay flexible? Can you stay creative? Be open. So I always want to say, what do you think is in front of you right now? Do you feel opportunity in your life? What could hold you back from that opportunity? So many questions. And then people just start talking, or you'll just start talking to yourself, and it can unfold and unfold and unfold. Any questions with Wheel of Fortune? Has this one come up for anyone since you've been pulling just the 0 through 10s?
That today. I got that one today.
You did, Jen. And what did it feel like for you?
Like good news.
And what, if you know the good news is coming, what's one thing you will really try your best to resist falling back into or trying or doing that could hold you back from this really good news that's coming in? Can you name one thing that would hold you back?
Well, I tend to like fall into fear or kind of like disbelief that big change can happen. Even when I see like little signs that change is happening or there's good there, I'm always like, well, there's good, but there's all these other things that are keeping me stuck. And so when I pulled that, I journaled about a little bit like, okay, so here are the things that I would tend toward focusing on.
Yeah.
And so if I were to kind of like see them and let them just be there and then look toward like, what are the smaller things that are signs of opportunity or positivity or growth or goodness kind of thing.
I mean, what a gift that this card sets your whole day up for this.
Yeah.
Focus on the opportunity to absorb the positivity. You know, the most vulnerable emotion we can feel is positivity and joy.
Yeah.
What if it's taken away from us?
Mm-hmm.
And so we always lean towards the, well, just cut my losses by kind of focusing on if it might not happen or,
right.
You know, and that just is a low vibration that gets in the way. So I'm so happy that you are already thinking about it, this card in that way, and keep on journaling about it and keep on seeing if it shows up for you. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Perfect timing. We are now coming to our fabulous time to pull cards, and we all have time now to do a new spread, to journal what comes to you intuitively, as well as to read the mini definition. Remember in the back of the book I told you guys about, starting on page, the mini definitions start on page 282, just a shorter, more succinct description of the card. And then I get to work with 3 people today to really go deep with the cards and try and help tell the story of how the cards connect, and then hear what you guys think. And I do this not only so that each person can receive the benefit of that, but also you guys can see, that's another way of linking the cards or telling the story. So this is my go-to pull every morning. It's just understanding my day or a situation. And I pull 3 cards. The first card is, what do I need to know as a person today? What do I need to know as a person today? And I flip that card over. I'm like, okay. Then the second question I ask is, what action or what do I need to know to make that first card come alive? So what's the action I need to take today? And then the third card is, what is the universe telling me about this? So in order to really ground this, because you've already pulled your daily cards probably, I want you guys to write in your journals right now a situation you're either going through personally or professionally, in a relationship, just something that you're just wanting some guidance on. So if you can just write down a certain situation that you are experiencing right now.
Johanna, could you just repeat them really quickly? What do I need to know as a person? What action is required? And what was the...
And then what is the universe telling me about this situation? I always like to get the universe's perspective because it's the big kahuna. So after you've written down the situation that you want guidance on, I want you guys to shuffle your cards 3 times, please. Get your energy on the cards.
And are we pulling from the whole deck? I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you. Let's put the 0 through 10 back in the full deck. They get to join their friends again. And maybe we should do a couple extra mixes just because 0 through 10 is all together, but who really cares? Because the card that wants to show itself is going to show itself anyway. Get your energy on the cards, juice them up when you guys are shuffling, really. And then however you guys want to pick your card, remember we talked about the 3 different ways last class. You can either fan them out, that might be nice, and then you put your hand over it for heat and pull it, but I will guide you right now through the spread. So if you're all ready, either fan them out or have them in your hands, however you like to pull, or put them in a big pile. You can, do it with your left hand. But I want you to all close your eyes and just say out loud, or not out loud, but yourself, with this situation, what do I need to know as a person? With this situation, what do I need to know as a person? Please pull your first card and flip it up. Okay, second card. Please close your eyes. Based on this first card that came up, what is the action I need to take? What is the action I need to take in this situation? Pull your second card and flip it up.
Joanna, can you slow down a bit? It takes me a minute to get the feeling of the cards. Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
And if you're ready, hopefully, the third card is just, what does the universe want me to know about this situation? What does the universe want me to know about this situation? When you have your 3 cards in front of you, I want you just to journal. If you have a hit, an intuitive hit from the cards, just without even looking at the definition, please just capture it real quick, maybe with words or feelings. And then I'm going to give you 5 minutes to read the definitions in the back of the book, and then we'll come together. One more minute. And again, if you don't get through it, you're going to have so much time after the class. I just want to have time to be able to work with people. All right, ladies. I would love to hear from someone what their situation was, the person, the action, and the universe card that came up.
I'll volunteer
This
to
is,
Oh, sorry.
okay, go ahead.
Hey, Leila.
Hey, so this is really interesting. It kind of gets me all excited. So the situation I wrote down, Joanna, as you know, I've been contemplating leaving a corporate job and starting out on my own and taking that leap, and it's super scary and all of that. And so the 3 cards I got for what I need to know as a person was the 5 of Cups. Yes. Do you want me to tell you all 3?
Yep.
Okay. Then what action do I need to take? I got the Hermit.
Okay.
Also interesting. And then what is the universe telling me about the situation? I got the 8 of Wands, the swiftness card.
All right. Layla, what's your hit on the person and the action in the universe? What's your initial hit?
So the person, the disappointment card, I was confused on until I read the description. But, you know, again,
I thought so.
sorry, I've got my daughter here. As you know, Joanna, I just suffered a miscarriage, and so there's been this big moment where, I mean, I've been toiling about leaving my job for a year, solidly for a year. And this moment in time, this event that happened a few weeks ago, I think is creating a lot of like a lot of momentum for me, or like this moment of like, what am I doing with my life? I have to stop and think about this.
Yes.
And obviously it's come through a lot of like sadness.
Yep. So you are actually, as a person right now, releasing a lot of emotion and disappointment and feelings that make you feel fragile. That 5 of Cups has very glass cups. They're very fragile, and you can feel angry, and it's on its way out. It's really on its way out with this situation. And so your action, Hermit, what is it telling you to do, Layla?
Well, it's like really dig deep and get ready for this. Like take the time, say no, you know, stop getting on airplanes for this job that I want to leave, and actually create the space I need to think this through.
Yeah, I want you meditating every morning, pulling cards, listening deeply to yourself, going out in nature. I know you live in a beautiful, beautiful place. It's very cold right now, but really, really tuning in and getting quiet. No busy right now. And then the last one, 8 of Wands, swiftness. What do you need? What is the universe saying to do?
Stop thinking about it and do it.
Anti-procrastination cards, you guys. 8 of Wands. Take action. Do not hold back. Communicate with who you need to communicate. Get clear. It is like action central for you right now, my love.
Mm-hmm.
So releasing that disappointment, of course, fragileness, going inward, and freaking taking action. How beautiful.
I'm excited. It's really motivating.
Such great. Keep those cards up all day long for yourself, will you? Great. Thank
Yeah.
you. Who else would like to share their cards?
I definitely would. Confused.
Let me get my full screen here. There we go. Oopsies. Okay, so who is talking right now? Wait, I have to get to
Jen.
Jen. Okay,
Yeah.
Great. So tell me what your situation is.
So the situation is trying to decide about making a move.
Physical move?
Yeah, moving from our home.
Okay, and great. What did you pull for your person?
The universe.
Yes.
And then I pulled the moon.
For your action? Uh-huh.
And then I pulled interference.
Uh-huh. I mean, these cards, you guys, are so freaking powerful. What a story. So what was your hit on what the universe came up right now as a person? Why do you think this move, what is it telling you about the move?
Well, when I first saw it and I hadn't read it, my first thought was like, whoa, this is so much bigger than just like what I'm thinking it is. And the things I'm focusing on to make this decision, it's bigger than that. That was my first thought.
As big as it gets. It's the number 21 in the Major Arcana. It is the major completion, new beginnings, purpose. There's something very big with your purpose, Jen, in this move. Okay.
Yeah. And then I realized when I read it that I had pulled that earlier in the week and I just forgotten about it. So this is the second time this has come up for me this week, this card.
Always, yeah, be very, very mindful of the repetitive cards. They're telling you something.
Yeah.
And so the moon comes up as your action. What's your big takeaway? So what do you think?
So for me, the moon just always like, I'm a big, crystal person. I meditate. So like when I saw a moon, and I'd never pulled the moon before, I was like, oh, I got to get like steady with all my practices that ground me and help me.
Yes.
But I didn't know if that was but then I saw this was about resolution in some way. And so I'm not totally
And
clear.
it's the biggest authentic decision-making card in the deck. The main message with the moon, you guys, is no, do not make decisions based on what you think you should do. Your dutiful self, make it on your authenticity. What really will serve you. So it is like getting the shoulds out of the way and doing your musts.
Okay.
Authentic decision-making is your absolute action. And then you get the interference card, which is universe. It's a challenge card, right? So interference, it gets in the way. It's the ping pong, over-analyzing, over-doubting mind. When you're making decisions and your mind is over-analyzing and over-doubting, it's not the right time to make the decision, but it's time to clear that energy out. Get into your heart, get into your gut, get into your belly.
Right.
Stop the ping pong today. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right. We have time for one more person to share.
I'll do it.
Who just spoke?
Both of us.
I think two of us went.
Yeah.
Oh, did either of you go last time?
No.
No.
Okay, wait. So, I'm so sorry. Wait, say your names? I don't have everyone on the screen.
Heather.
Renee? We are so in sync.
Renee, and who is the other person?
Heather.
Heather. So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 10. I have it in my head. Go.
4.
Nope.
9.
Nope.
2.
Nope.
10.
Nope.
8.
Nope.
5.
No.
I'll let Heather go. How's that?
3.
We're
all right, Heather, you go. Renee, you can go next time. So what's your situation, Heather?
Well, the reason I wanted you to is because I got the Hermit. This is the 3rd day in a row that I got the Hermit. That was for the first question. The second for what action do I need to take? I got the Queen of Discs.
Yes.
And the third card was success.
What's your situation?
I'm being asked to be part of a project that's it'll be part-time, but it'll be back in my old business. And I'm just super contemplative about it, and
yeah,
my intuition is saying yes, but I'm nervous about it.
So Hermit is your person is really time to get more quiet and to go inward, which it sounds like you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's an inner, if you know, one of the questions is if you do this project, will illuminate the way for others. Your action is Queen of Discs. The Queen of Discs, you guys, she's looking back at the barren deserts of the past, and she's sitting on her pineapple throne, which is abundant and juicy. And she is determined never to go back to the barren deserts of the past. She wants to move forward with abundance and nutrition and just juiciness. So Heather, you really have to ask yourself, you can make a list, you can go, is this a barren desert of the past experience, or is it going to be juicy and pineapple-y? And then you have your action, success. I love the success card, 6 of Discs. You'll see the guiding thing. Are you following heart and meaning? Are you communicating? There's 6 planets in that card, and each one of them has an action to take. So there's a lot of things to think about, but it requires first and foremost that you go hermit, that you get quiet.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So you guys, thank you so much. What an amazing, amazing experience today. Going through 0 through 10. Your homework for next time, and I'll type this all up and send it to you guys, but it's to separate out 11 through 21 in your major arcana. 11 hangman, less strength to universe. 11 through 21. And you're going to do the same thing as you did last week. You're going to make 2 separate piles so you can get up close and personal with the second set of major arcana. I want you to continue pulling daily. And then I'm going to give you a fun little piece of homework, which is I want you all to calculate and identify your lifetime symbol and your growth year symbol. Because you'll see in the descriptions, there's always what your lifetime symbol definition is and growth symbols. So I want you guys, if you haven't already done it, to calculate it and look it up and read it. And I'll take you through the steps of how to do that in the MailChimp that I send after this class. But before we go, is there any one last question, any burning question that needs to be asked? Okay. Well, thank you again. And
can I ask a question? Sorry, I couldn't get myself off mute. It's Pam.
Good. Hi, Pam.
I love doing this, and what I find is I feel like maybe I need more time with each card, but should I just keep pulling every day, or let that sit and be able to think about it?
Yeah, I get that. And there's a part of me that wants you to get exposure to as many cards as you can through this class.
Okay.
And then there's also a part of me that's hearing that your intuition is really calling yourself to slow down and digest what each card is saying to you. So maybe every other day, what if you let the cards that you pull sit for 2 days and then you pull again? Or if you pull that card for the day, really journal on them and keep on journaling, even though the next day you pull a couple new cards, because they'll start. I want you to be able to see patterns as well, things that maybe come up over and over again.
Yeah.
So you are free. This is really your process. There is no right or wrong, but those are some ideas maybe you could think about.
Okay, now that makes sense. I think I'll just spend the time on that card, and if I get through it, I'll pull another the next day. If I don't, I'll wait until I'm done and not go more than 2 days.
That's awesome. Great. And thank you. And if you guys want to share your cards in the Facebook group, that's awesome. If you don't have the Facebook group and you want to text them to me or email them to me, I am loving this. So have a fabulous day. Tarot hugs and kisses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.